What's up, everyone? We're back in the building. Just going ahead to you know, taking care of some errands today. So I want to drop this video. I know it's been a while since I've really dropped the video. I'm kind of taking a little break, but I will start throwing some more out there starting next year. And do a couple. I'll probably do about 4 or 5 in between now and next year. But the main thing I wanted to talk about today was that musical chairs video is coming, but I definitely want to make sure I pay that service. But this is going to be kind of like a precursor to the musical chairs. Actually, it's just something that's on my mind, something I want to put out there. So I got some links in the description, you know, with Jason Black. You know, he did to promote his you know, channel called The Business. I'm really promoting this hard because a lot of people like Jason Black, but they just, for some reason, you got Negroes that they just don't want to have the white supremacy conversation because they have taught themselves that talking about white supremacy too much is really you just making excuses for the fact that you're a fucking loser, which is not really. You can actually understand your environment that you are in America in order to better navigate it, because as a black man you can't really afford to not understand how you're viewed in America. And it's not just, well, everybody hates black men. You need to understand why, so you can understand where you need to push and probe in order to find the openings to actually develop power, wealth, and influence, because the rules for you is not the rules for everyone else. And when people sit here and say, I don't want to have that conversation. Now, I get only having that conversation, just like when you only have the conversation about what black women aren't doing. But when you want to wholesale say, I don't want to have that conversation, well, pretty much what you're doing is you're blindsiding yourself, and it really hurts a lot of your awareness. That's just for people that, you know, always want to throw Jason Black and Serena Sheep, but Jason Black in particular, under the bus, saying, well, he's all right, but I think he's hustling white supremacy. But anyway, The Business is really about he really doesn't talk about white supremacy on The Business. The Business is for people that like Jason Black, his rhetoric. If you like his videos when he's checking these chicks, these are for guys like, for example, if you look at somebody that listens to, for example, Obsidian's audience, this is for somebody like him, like them. Like, I don't really want to have my philosophy or my ideology informs me that at the end of the day it's personal responsibility, and at the end of the day, you know, white supremacy can be overcome, or it really is not the biggest issue of our time, as Obsidian would say. And I really don't want to waste my time in a conversation where that's the only thing being put out. But I do like Jason Black's rhetoric. I do like when Jason Black is talking about something that isn't white supremacy. I like when he's talking about business. I like when he's checking these hoes. This is what The Business is. It's pretty much Jason Black's After Hours, and I've listened, and they're long as hell, but you can obviously break them down. So I always tell you all, I'm not somebody that's gonna completely tell you this is what the fuck you need to think. I'm just gonna tell you need to think. So therefore, I'm gonna find, if you let me know that there's certain things you really don't want to hear, I'm gonna keep that in mind. If you're somebody that really is in the Christian religion and you don't want to constantly hear motherfuckers always saying Christianity ain't shit, I'm gonna find places where we can meet in the middle, where it's productive, but at the same time it's your lane, because that's what, I'm a marketer by trade, so I believe in giving people what they want, but that's how you do it without compromising yourself. So I've just spent 4 minutes promoting that. Those 2 videos, one is called the Thot Audit, the other one is called the You Get What You Deserve. You get the man you deserve. So those are good videos, and you go through a lot of stuff. Also, a good thing about The Business is he has women on there too, and he has people calling in. So it is one of these things where you see how Jason Black actually interacts with women in an environment where he's not talking about people cooning it up and stuff like that. And people that's got some goddamn sense in the conversation. So with that being said, let's jump on to this video. This won't be too long. Try to keep this one in 15 minutes. So this is the half. So here's the deal. You know, as I want to have this conversation about what you can do and can't do, what you will do and what you won't do. I've been saying that a lot lately, and to be honest with you, I actually got what you can do and can't do from Pirates of the Caribbean, ironically enough. I remember when Johnny Depp's character, Jack Sparrow, was telling Orlando Bloom's character, I forget what his name is, but you know the other dude, and they had to do the boat, you know, like sail the boat, just them two. And he was talking about like what you can do and can't do. And he said at the end of the day, as a man, that's the only thing that really matters. And he basically made the example, you know, when he kicked him almost where he was hanging off the ledge or something, like he said, I could let you drown, but I can't, you know, man this, I can't man this damn boat on my own. So again, what you can do and can't do. And I decided to add something to that, which is another aspect of it, is what you will do and what you won't do. And the reason why I said that is because part of when you look at like something, if you look at someone like a Russell Wilson, for example, and a lot of black men were all up in arms about Russell Wilson, you know, picking up Sierra, not because Sierra is not attractive, not because of any of that. It's because you basically co-signed and validated her past by saying it's okay to get ran through. And look, the problem with Sierra, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's with a whole bunch of different dudes. The problem is she actually presented Russell Wilson with a child, basically turning him into a cuckold. I don't care how he tries to sell it to himself. That is what it is. And by the way, I got that from Glendon Cameron of Disruptive Male, another good channel y'all need to check out. And Glendon Cameron is another dude that he doesn't act like racism doesn't exist, but he's not a guy that's really going to be talking about white supremacy. He's more like everything's browning out anyway, and y'all need to get on that train. But from a black man perspective. But anyway, like I was saying, you know, when it comes to with Russell Wilson, he validated that bullshit. And that's why a lot of black men got upset, because it wasn't like he could do what he wants to do, but you being a Super Bowl quarterback co-signing that shit like that, you know, it's like, dude, I get that it really made black men look weak. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a black quarterback. You're in very small company. And with quarterbacks in general, let alone black quarterbacks, and you got a black woman, so that's why I keep saying that. So your idea of a black woman is a single mother, because he was with a white woman before, and I don't think he would have got a white woman that was a single mother. So that tells you a lot right there. But the point is, I already know what it really was. He liked Sierra. I'm telling you, this is my theory, but he liked Sierra, the chick on his wall when he was at NC State, and pretty much, you know, he saw the opportunity to jump on that, and he did not give a damn if it was a used car. You know how a lot of dudes, people will say they got, like, white boys say they got their dream car, and it may not be like this most luxury car. It'll be like, wow, that's your dream car, but you know, it's their dream car, and they'll get it used and fix it up, and they'll buy it salvage. I'll actually put a video in the description of a video I just found of somebody, a really good video of a dude that basically fixes up salvage cars, and he buys like Audi A8s and stuff like that, and they're salvage, and he fixes them up because these are ways, you know, he makes a channel out of it, which is smart. And they're salvage, and he'll actually go through like why it was salvage, like was this a good deal, did I luck out, did I not luck out, and more times than not he has a good eye for it, and he does. But that's what Russell Wilson did. Russell Wilson basically got a chick. When you're a single mother, I'm sorry, you have a salvage title. Does that mean that like there's zero hope? No, but you know how many people are actually buying salvage cars. And what was going on with him is he basically bought a salvage car. He bought a salvage car, and pretty much what comes with that salvage car is may have to deal with a nigga that don't really want to raise his kids, but wants to be but wants to be the daddy. And the reality is, to keep it 100, in the situation that Future is in, where that kid is not hurting for money, between all of them, he kind of has a right to he kind of has a right to try to pull that card. Because at the end of the day, he is the blood father. And no matter what Sierra says, Sierra chose him and chose to have a baby by him. You don't get to try to freeze him out like that. You don't. See, black women really believe that they really have more ownership to the child than, with all things being equal, they have more ownership to the child than a man. That's what they really believe in America. That's not really true. And you're dealing with somebody like Future that basically like, I don't know what the fuck is your problem, because these other my other baby mamas understand the fucking program. Just because your ass got money and you think you come from a two-parent household don't mean you ain't own this, because you fucked me and you had this kid. So you sign up for it so you can bitch about it later on. And it's harder for her to try to get child support from Future because she can't really make the case that she needs the money. Because at the end of the day, she's married. She's married in another relationship. It's harder for these women to artificially raise child support, especially when she comes from money herself, when you're with somebody that has as much, if not more money than you. So there's no point, because you can't justify through the law in the household. If Future's got enough money, well, he can have a lawyer fight that. So the point, and he seems like a dude that's willing to do that. Where he ain't like one of these niggas that's like gonna bow down to no bitch, because he's never had to. And I'm not defending Future. I'm saying this is what you signed up for. And this is not just she fucked them once. Anyway, I don't want to make this about Sierra. My overall point coming back to this is Russell Wilson chose that. He is the amalgamation of the what you will do and won't do part. Because even though Russell Wilson had the money and the ability to get probably whatever woman he wanted, he could have got a Sierra clone. Shout out to Reggie Bush, because that's what Reggie Bush did when he stopped fucking with Kim K. Because he stopped fucking with her. Because make no mistake, Kim wanted Reggie. It may have been better for the family, Kim being with Kanye, but Kim wanted Reggie. Reggie Bush. Make no mistake. That was the one that got away for her. But like I said, he could have did that, but he did it. Because in his mind, that was cool for him. And this is where it comes down to what you will do and won't do. Because if you have all the power in the world, but you, for some reason, don't have the mindset to exercise it, and that's really what Russell Wilson is. He's a dude he's alpha male in terms of money, he's alpha male in terms of status, he's alpha male in terms of physicality, but when it comes to him being alpha male in his head, he allows that fucked up Christian religion. When I say fucked up Christian religion, I'm talking about how it was taught to black people, put him in a matriarchal position. And Sierra knew what she was getting. That's why Sierra settled her down. Mark my words, she will be cheating on him. So again, it goes back down to what you will do, what you can do and can't do. So that is your capacity to do something, and what you will do and won't do. And that's your willingness to do it. And with black men in general, we pay too much attention to, if I was in this position, I would do this, rather than actually pursuing those positions. And then the dudes that are in those positions, we pay a little bit too much attention to give it a fuck about what black women think about what we do. So where am I going with this? What I'm going with this is this. Next year, I'm going to spend a lot more time really talking about conversations specifically to what black men can do and can't, putting themselves in positions to where they can do things and putting them in positions. And then obviously the other part of it is the mindset to why they should and not give a fuck about what anybody thinks, in particular black women, because that tends to be the main people we tend to care most about as far as what they think. And we need to just be we need to be honest about that. We really do. And this is why this conversation goes circular. You got people like SWP and other people where we're trying to explain, or we've kind of gotten this microphone, we can have our own opinion. Now we're just talking it out to death. And the reality is that, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And I'm going to tell you why. Because number one, BGS is correct. The environment is changing. I mean, it's clearly changing. And when you start to see it, it's going to be, that's when it's really going to be too late for a lot of people. When it starts to be so obvious, it's undeniable. But at the same time, you know, and this is why I'm getting more musical chairs. When you look at black women, here's the thing. If you're a guy, you know, a lot of people like to sell this idea that as black men, we need to improve. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anybody that says that is full of shit. Because number one, you're not supposed to improve for no bitch. Period. Not a single one. And number two, you're not, this idea of that black women don't choose you because you're not worthy. When I hear other black men say this or insinuate this, I'm like, okay, well, let's look at who they are choosing as a group. And if they were choosing men that they were satisfied with, they wouldn't be bitching about, well, black men don't build. Black men don't do this, this, or that. So either they're liars or they're giving their womb up to people they shouldn't be giving their womb up to. Has nothing to do with me as a black man. I'm talking about as far as their own outcomes. This is why I always have that conversation. Because you cannot deny lack of outcomes. If you're bitching up a storm, then clearly you're not happy with your outcome. And at some point, you cannot avoid this homing missile that is called personal responsibility, because you are accountable for your outcomes. Women are lulled into this false sense that at the end of the day, they are not accountable for their outcomes. But they are. They are, and they know it. They are accountable for their outcomes. And the reason why I use that terminology is because when you talk about outcome, you're really talking about, was this the results you wanted? So I fucked Future and I wanted to marry, and Future cheated on me. Well, is that the outcome you wanted? No. What outcome did you want? Well, I wanted him to be with me and then him to eventually freeze out his own single mothers. Okay, what did you see that had you believe that would happen? What is it that he showed you? Well, like, did he demonstrate? Not even that he showed you. Did he demonstrate it? Because dudes can say anything. What is it that he demonstrated? Well, it'll come down to, I wanted to believe or hope or basically put faith that that's what would happen. So basically, you pretty much assumed. Your pussy liked him, so therefore, you assumed that your pussy was strong enough to make him say, fuck all his other single mothers that he had kids with before you. Because Future's rocking on 6, maybe 7 single mothers now, and I keep telling y'all Sierra was a 4. You see what I'm saying? That comes, at the end of the day, here's the thing, if they never account for their outcomes, they will forever be ruled. It's just like the dark side. They will forever, their future and their path, their reality will forever be dominated by them not wanting to take personal accountability. So it's not relevant if they take personal accountability or not. They have to do that for them, not for black men. Because as long as they don't do that, then they just deal with this time loop in which they keep on repeating the same shit until they hit the wall, until they get too old. This is a big reason why you see a lot of sisters, by the way, celebrating black women as certain black women as they age, because all they're doing is saying that I emotionally resonate with this. So as black women as they age, but they still ain't hit the fucking wall completely, they're saying black girl magic. Look at how black women age, because they're really celebrating their ability to try to date younger men and still try to deal in the dating market. What they're not understanding is at the end of the day, these women are rich, that are celebrities, and the ones that aren't got some act right about them. Because those dudes are fucking with older women, and those dudes are as an extra pussy supply. They're not being in loyal relationships with these older women, and if they are, they're getting paid off on top of pussy. So it's not the same situation as when they were young. But women will celebrate that because they're celebrating their continuation of basically not being accountable and doing whatever their pussy tells them to do. And eventually, I don't care how old you get, most of y'all ain't gonna age like Angela Bassett. That train gets turned off, or at least your stock declines. Because I don't give a fuck how good you look. A 50-year-old chick is not competing. A 50-year-old chick that's a 9 is not competing with a 20-year-old chick that's a 7. Unless the 20-year-old chick that's 7 is a straight bitch. This is why older women tend to not be like that. Or they find that they can't find no men because men don't got to put up with that bullshit. As we age, it's easier for us to reach down than you because women pull up. When men don't like to pull up through women like that. So the point is, no matter what the fuck they do or don't do, their reality, Darwinism, will take effect. That's what it is. Economic Darwinism, the karma, those things will take effect. It's not relevant. It's just not. So when we spend time telling black women what we already know is going to be their future, you know, it is what it is. We would do better in our time, because I'm not telling all black men to just stop talking about this conversation. What I'm saying is, a lot of y'all that's in these audiences, a lot of y'all, this is entertainment. So what happens is, this is why a lot of y'all don't donate, because because it's entertainment to y'all. So when people are asking for money, people are taking it seriously, like this is a serious thing to be taken care of, and dudes are like, this is just fucking entertainment on YouTube. And then you got certain content creators that are saying, well, y'all need to support black media. They don't respect it. They see it as entertainment, and that just is what it is. And you have to find things that they do respect in order to sell to them to make money. But my point is, as black men, the key is we have to put ourselves in a position where what they say doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Now, a lot of black men will interpret that as save yourself black men or just go white. My thing is, I don't care if you go white or don't go white personally, but what I will say is, if you go white or go non-black and you get goofy about it, like you start going blue pill for non-black women only to be red pill for black women, I don't go blue pill for foreign women. Because all women will go left, as Mr. Research says, and he's right. Because all women will probe for your weaknesses. Now, some of them, based on how they've been formatted, are just going to be more bold than others. But they all will do it. Even foreign women, if you deal with foreign women on some tricky shit, they will see you as a trick. And they will try to get money for you and come up with some fucking sob story. And a lot of y'all goofy ass niggas will believe it because y'all be like, well, she giving me pussy, so blah, blah, blah. No. Because if she could ask you, she could ask somebody else. But y'all don't think like that. Y'all are like, kind of, y'all want to be red pill, but y'all really like purple pill. And not even really purple pill. Y'all are just in that situation where y'all want to vent. So anyway, going back to the point is, we need to start talking about putting more black men, because the more black men are in position to where they can do what they can do and can't do, capacity increases, then we can aggregate that power amongst things that we agree with. Because one of those things is going overseas. We need to start creating a serious network of black men that want to go overseas, because that allows us to aggregate money, time, and energy, and resources, and understanding. It's time to start cataloging certain things. It's time for us to start really putting ourselves in positions to where we go to certain places, certain cities, we have certain groups or networks that we can plug into to get access to the women, to get access to the experiences. This is what it means to set yourself up as a market. You know, one of the biggest, I was watching I still haven't finished it, and I'm going to finish it today. I was watching I talk about this every so often, but I don't really talk about it. There's this TV show called Scientology in the Aftermath that I watch, and I love the show. I forget what channel it's on because I just DVR it, but it's with Leah Remini, the woman that was from the King of Queens, the wife. You know, she was very attractive. She was skinny, and she got fat. You know, very typical kind of, I think she's Italian, New Yorker, you know, look, they're very, very cool woman, right? And she has this show. She's on the 3rd season. The episode I was watching that I'm in the process of watching is the one with Farrakhan. It was talking about Scientology and Nation Islam. Very insightful stuff. And basically, one of the things that they mentioned, and I didn't know the Nation Islam was only 20,000 members deep. I would have thought the Nation Islam was a hell of a lot bigger than that. That's a mega church. That's like a huge mega church when you think about it. 20,000 people. Now, I don't know if that's true. She did put it on the show, and I don't see why she would have lied. But actually, she didn't say that. She asked a former Nation Islam member that, because they were interviewing him and interviewing one or two. And he said that. And I was like, damn, that's why I kind of accepted it. I was like, damn, that's it? And when they say 20,000 members, they're talking about like 20,000 official, you're on the books members. I'm sure they have like, so this is like core, this is the core group, by the way. I was like, that's not a lot. But because the Nation of Islam is aggregated, it's an aggregated network. That's why it seems like it's more powerful than what it is. I want y'all to really think about that. 20,000 members. Now, they are hyper aggregated in a group. But even still, if you have more members but not as aggregated, you can still have the same effect. That's the power of a network. And they said the Church of Scientology was a hell of a lot less than that. But again, because those individuals have more money, like I think like they were talking about Church of Scientology, maybe it's maybe like maybe half of that. They talk about in the United States in particular. And it was like, wow, that's not that many people. It's just you have to be on the same page. Now, a lot of people will sit here, I could already hear it. A lot of black men will be like, oh, well, you know, what about my sovereignty? Nigga, shut the fuck up. Black men have not had sovereignty. Y'all need to kill that, stop that. That's just fear bullshit. The reality is nobody's making you do anything you don't want to do. Nobody's having you sign a contract in blood. You know, the point is, I'm saying we need to aggregate our capacity. So when we have things like, so if there is something that you're passionate about and you agree on, then you could work with that thing. And now you have brothers that you can deal with that can serve as a staging ground. See, there's a difference between going around white people when they know you got a whole bunch of active black men that actually can do something in whatever particular task that you're trying to do. You're coming with a different power base. It's no different than insurance. No different than insurance, where the bigger group, the more you can negotiate. And your power comes from your ability to draw from that greater whole and whatever percentage that you can. That is why this is important. But we never think about it that way. We only think about it in terms of, this is where having a one-sided, having a almost like 80 or 90% individuality meter becomes detrimental. Because then you don't understand how to move a group to do something, because you only understand things in individual terms. So you don't understand how to really talk to people in a group dynamic. You could have the tools and the charisma, but because you don't know how to think in those terms, because your philosophy doesn't allow you to believe in those terms, then what happens is you become very tone deaf when it comes to talking at a macroeconomic perspective. And then furthermore, when you're somebody on the other side of that and you're good at talking to groups, but you don't understand it, it's not going to take a whole group to make something happen. Usually there's always going to be an 80-20 rule where 20% of people do 80% of the main stuff, and you need that rest of 80% to help protect the 20%. You don't understand those dynamics, then again, you run into issues as well. So again, like I said before, my point is showing people what they can do and can't do, increasing what they can do and and then putting the mindset together, which is the conversation we have, is why they need to just go ahead and make happen what they will do. Because even if we got dudes that can do things, then we got dudes that are having a conversation. You need to take that can-do attitude and you need to focus that to help women, you know, they are not contributing. I have no problem helping and over to protecting women of value. Women that are black of value. I'm not going to sit here and take that energy trying to convince people to do what the fuck they supposed to already be doing. You know, if I'm a black man of consequence and I'm a black man that can make stuff happen, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you of that. You either see that or you don't. And too many black men, because the women got a womb, are trying to convince them. Now, I'm not saying you can't help people here or there, but what I'm saying is dudes fall into this like trick bag where they're not only tricking, they're tricking and they're not getting nothing out of it. And that's why so many dudes be like, don't trick, because they're thinking about tricking in relationship to not getting nothing out of it. Not basically saying, look, you gonna do for me. I know what I'm bringing to you. You gonna bring something that I want. Otherwise, you can go ahead. So anyway, I just wanted to drop this video for y'all. You know, so once again, this is Edward signing off. Peace.